Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the wonderful world of spirits. We're now on the bees, and I figured, you know what, we're going to have to make these episodes longer, just because if not, then unfortunately, we're going to be here all day, literally. The first spirit, Baden, the Black Lady, Holy Mother of the Sacred Mountains. The origin is Cambodian and Vietnamese, depending on the version of a myth. Baden literally means the Black Lady, a small, dark-faced porcelain image venerated by Vietnamese and Cambodians. Both ethnic groups claim her. Since the 19th century, a shrine at Baden Mountain has been among the most popular pilgrimages in the region. There are different legends of how Baden became a goddess. All end sadly. She may have committed suicide to avoid an arranged marriage or died resisting rape. She may have fallen to her death from a cliff, been attacked by a tiger on the mountains. Regardless of the cause, after she died, people saw her walking the mountain, chanting Buddhist mantras and prayers. Renowned for healing illness, protecting from danger, and bestowing good fortune and success, she has a similar, generous but volatile nature as her sister goddess, Bachu Zu. Make sure to fulfill all vows made to Baden. Baden is sometimes identified with Hindu goddess Mariamman. Very interesting. A sacred site of Baden, and she actually has two primary shrines in different places. Obviously, one is province near the Vietnamese-Cambodian border, northwest actually. It's the Baden Mountain, as we have sort of talked about. So, days or times in which, you could petition her or make offerings. Pilgrimages are traditionally made on the 15th day, full moon, of the 1st, 9th and 10th lunar months. You can offer bars of silver or gold at a shrine. The less wealthy offer the fruits of their labour, often, quite literally, the fruits of whatever they laboured. The next spirit is Baneb Titet, the soul of Mendes, Lord of Mendes, or Ram of Mendes. But the names are known variantly. For example, another name is Baneb Didet, Baneb Jidet, but its origin is Egypt. At the root of the wrangling and power struggle between rival Egyptian deities Horus and Set is a philosophical disagreement about succession rights. King Osiris is dead. Who should succeed him? If descent is patrilineal, then it should be his legitimate son Horus. If descendant is matrilineal, then it should be Osiris' mother's other son, Set. They might still be wrangling about this today, if it wasn't for Banebtitet, the calm, cool-headed ram deity, who suggested that the primordial goddess, Neith, be consulted for the final decision. Banebtitet cautioned that a peaceful solution must be found, lest Mahat, sacred universal order, be destroyed, and all Egypt with it, and possibly the world. Banebtitet is the original goat of Mendes. The ancient Egyptians lumped goats and sheep together. In the medieval era, the image of the horned deity was identified with Satan. However, Banebtitet is not even a trickster. He's calm, peaceful, orderly, a honest spirit, who may be petitioned for assistance with the negotiations and attribution. He will manifest as a man with a horned ram's head. Obviously, sacred sites is in the Egyptian cities. Mendes, of course. Where else would it be, right? The next. Now, when I get to the next one, the problem is there is two different ones. So I'm not sure which one to bring you guys. But I guess I will just bring you both and let you decide. Baal, but there's two. And this is the first one. Um, he who mounts the clouds, the prince. Its origin is Semitic. Baal is not actually a name, but a title that literally means master. It generally refers to a spirit whose name is Hadad, and Adad, or some variation of the name. Baal's primary modern fame is from the Bible, where he is a spirit railed against the Hebrew prophets. His epitome of male sexual prowess and fertility is responsible for life-giving rain and his petition for fertility, abundance, and protection. He belongs to a family of spirits, actually not just one, and that is his sister, lover partner, and bodyguard. El and Lady Ashera of the sea are his parents. So, in Ugarthric, the Canaanite mythology, Baal and El have a contentious relationship. If one understands El as corresponding to the God of Israel, then this continuous serves to explain much of the biblical antipathy to Baal. Baal is frequently venerated beside his mother, Lady Ashira of the sea. So he does travel with an entourage, and his closest compatriot is Anat. But he also has a harem including spirits called Dew, Rain, and Plump Damsel. When Anat approaches, he dismisses his other women, but it's unclear whether this is because he really loves her most, or because he too fears her rage. Baal travels with 8 boar hunters, which may refer to the myths of Adonis. He has 2 servant spirits who act as his envoys. Ecstatic dance was integral to his rites. It's theorized that vestiges of choreography may survive among dervish traditions. He manifests as a large, handsome, virile, youthful man, or sometimes as such a man with a bull's head. His attributes, other than his horned helmet and his lightning bolt, are weapons. His arsenal include a spear, mace, battle axe, double axe, and 2 bludgeons, which he's actually named them as well. He's always armed and ready for action. He has a dagger at his belt. He lives in a palace of gold, silver, and lapis lazuli, with but one window, through which he sends rain, thunder, and lightning to earth. His animal is the bull. His trees are the cypress. Sacred places are Mount Saphon, Syria, and Mount Carmel, Israel. His offering should be fruit. So that's one of them. But the problem is there's number 2 now, Baal, also known as Baal, Bel, and Baal. And he is from medieval Europe. Now, you wish to pronounce him is up to you, but his classification is a demon. The demonologist, Baal, is no longer a spirit of fertility and rain. He's now the king of hell, attended by 70 legions of demons. Alternatively, he only has 66. He has the power to bestow wisdom and invisibility. He manifests as a creature with 3 heads, cat, man, and toad. His portrait in Colin de Plancy's Dictionary Infernal depicts him with what may be spiders' legs. So if you can picture that in your head, well, good for you. That's because it's just a weird picture. Then we move on to Baal Berith, Master of the Covenant, Master of the Promise, also known as Berith and El Berith. Classification is a demon. Medieval demonologists reinterpreted Baal Berith as a fallen angel, a former prince of cherubim, but now pontiff of hell. He serves as chief, archivist, and the devil's own private secretary. The covenant or promise that concerned medieval Christians was the one that left a human soul enthralled to Satan. If one believes in signed contracts between mortals and the devil, then Baal Berith, well, he's the spirit who comes forth to serve as a notary for these signed contracts. So now you know, guys. Someone tells you, I signed a contract with the devil. Actually, They never get to see the devil in order to sign a contract with him. Very lucky if they do. Usually he'll send his lower classes as demons. And Barith Elberith, Baal, or whatever you want to call them, he's the one that would come. So we've already done Baba Yaga in the other one, so we're not going to obviously do her again. I'm pretty sure we all know who Baba Yaga is anyway. And do I believe everything they say about her? Nah, I actually don't. I quite like her. Okay, so the next one, bear in mind, I can't speak this language very well, but Bagalamukhi, the crane-headed one, also known as Bagala, India, and I will be calling her Bagala because it's easier for me to say. Bagala is queen of witchcraft, poison, and deceit. She presides over language and the sacred power of words. She controls the tongue. She blesses those she loves with eloquence and protects them from devious, hurtful words of others. She silences her enemies, human or demon, by ripping out their tongues or otherwise rendering them mute. Another favoured method is hammering pegs through the tongue. She also has the power to cause or alleviate illness. She is sometimes described as irritable, foul-tempered spirit, who may incite people to torture one another, physically or emotionally, just for her own enjoyment. In all fairness, it's not uncommon for powerful female deities associated with magical rites to be defamed by authorities. What has survived the centuries best are written texts by male scholars, not the oral mystery traditions of ancient devotees. It would be ironic if a spirit associated with deceit, gossip, and slander was also its own victim. She is the Caesar of speech, the paralyzer of the tongue. She carries a big hammer with which she knocks enemies and the wicked out cold. She also protects those she loves, though. She bestows courage, health, and prosperity, watches over you so that you don't say something really stupid. You can invoke her if you dare, to stop gossip and slander. But beware, treat her with respect, but she will do it. Her favoured people are actually witches and sorcerers, those who like to manifest and deal with herbs and candles and such alike. Normally she will only appear and help those kind of people and really doesn't want to help anybody else. That's just how she is. When she manifests, it's said that she has 3 eyes. She wears saffron-dyed robes and a garland of champaka flowers. She's attributed with a hammer, chisel, wooden pegs, and a noose. All quite interesting things, let's say. Her bird is a crane. The thing she would mount to ride would be a lion. Her number is 9. Her flower is champaka. Her colour is the yellow-gold spectrum, the shades of saffron, which includes a deep red. Her consort is Rudra. Her planet is Moon. And she has temples, of course. Offerings to be made to her. Incense, candles, yellow flowers, and things in the form of mouths or tongues, miniature hammers and wooden pegs. Things that would please her because it's what she's known to carry or have, and, well, they kind of like that. And, when these kind of spirits, like I say, you need to be careful because if you do something wrong or say something wrong, you can anger them. And believe me, you do not want that. Definitely not to be messed with. And our next spirit is Baka. Congolese is its origin. The term Baka, most commonly associated with dangerous spirits of Haitian voodoo, is variously used, but is almost always perceived negative, or, that kind of aspect. Baka may be a synonym for minor demons. It may indicate malevolent, tricky souls of the dead, and it most commonly refers to powerful spirits willing to contract with sorcerers. Baka and magician are both independent contractors. The Baka is not a member of a pantheon, but a free spirit. The sorcerer works for him or herself. Each represents only their own desires. The Baka will do whatever the magician, shaman, sorcerer seeks, as long as the price is right. Thus the backer could theoretically be commanded to perform good works, although this is generally not believed to be the case. Haitian backer, derived from Congolese spirits, described as dead souls wandering the forest, or a small malevolent spirits who wreak havoc. Baka also names an ethnic group, Baka Pygmies, nomadic hunters-gatherers, who still live in the diminishing rainforests of the Cameroon, Congo and Gabon. They have historically been persecuted by settled Bantu neighbours who traditionally perceive Baka Pygmies as possessing profound magical knowledge. Using the name Baka to refer to malevolent forest spirits reflects Bantu fear of these forest dwellers. In the context of Asian voodoo, individual Baka make deals with individual magical practitioners. They are typically asked to provide a god, wealth, reveal hidden treasure, do revenge work. They are not patient spirits, but clever tricksters. They will turn on you in an instant if you fail to live up to your end of the bargain, or their interpretation of your end of the bargain. They're dangerous. They really should be avoided at all costs. Usually when they manifest, they are seen with horns. The next spirit is Baku, the dream eater, origin China, Japan. Have bad dreams, suffer from nightmares, have no fear. Baku will eat them. Baku is a fierce, protective spirit who can permanently eliminate nightmares. No dream is too tough for Baku, whose other dietary mainstay is metal. Baku is commonly referred to as the Baku. Dreams pass through Baku's digestive system to be eliminated in the form of good luck. He removes your torment, leaving blessings in its place. Baku may spontaneously consume dreams, but he generally must be requested to do so. Allegedly, if you cry out, "Eat it, Baku," or words to that effect 3 times, he will immediately devour all traces of a nightmare. Tell children about him for reassurance. No need to suffer bad dreams, when Baku can be called. Images of Baku or stuffed Baku toys, he's cute, are placed in children's bedrooms or in those of anyone suffering chronic nightmares. His name painted on headboards or placed in the bedroom may be sufficient to promote peaceful, secure, uninterrupted sleep. Of course, from a metaphysical perspective, nightmares are more than just unpleasant moments. Some are harbingers of disaster. By eating nightmares, Baku can change and improve fate. Baku is among the most composite creatures, classified as lion dogs. His appearance is hazy. It may manifest differently for different people. He's a hybrid creature featuring elephant, rooster, horse, bear, ox, lion, dog, and possibly other animal components. So he's a bit of everything, I guess. Depending, how you see him. The next is Baldur, also known as Lord Baldur, Baldur, and Baldur, Norse. So, Baldur, Odin and Frigg's son, is the fairest of all Aesir's spirits, merciful, kind and wise. Lord of joy, light, purity, friendship, reconciliation and innocence, is beloved by all. Well, almost all. Baldur had ominous dreams, which the Aesir recognized as portents of doom. His mother, determined to save him, travelled around the world, extracting oaths from everything on earth, making them promise never to harm Baldur. She extracted vows from all living creatures and everything formed of metal, stone and wood. The sole exception was mistletoe. When she considered too insignificant to pose a threat, though, and didn't bother, Frigg returned to Asgard. Reassured of Baldur's safety, the other Aesir amused themselves by throwing things at Baldur, darts and hard objects, knowing that he could not be harmed. Observing those antics, a strange woman, maybe Loki in disguise, maybe his twin, Angrboda, asked Frigg to explain. The woman asked whether everyone had sworn the oath. Frigg, still underestimating mistletoe, revealed the exception. Later, Loki handed a bit of mistletoe to Hora, Balder's blind brother, and guiding his hand persuaded him to throw it. The mistletoe pierced Balder's heart, killing him instantly. He's not called Balder the Beautiful for nothing. He manifests as something quite radiant. His consort is Nanna, son for Seti, spirit of justice and peace. Its colours are the yellow gold spectrum and shining white. Sacred plants. Various plants are popular with him. Valerian, mayweed, Valeriana officinalis, that would be, and M. maritima, Matracaria perforata. Those are the plants. So he's a very what's the word? He's a very peaceful spirit. It's not. You don't need to sort of fear that one, you know. Definitely not. Not one to not work with. Probably would definitely not hurt you or anything like that. We're not going to do Banshee because we have done Banshee already. Bogu is the next one we're going to do. Also known as Beoku, Beogu, and Bogu. Lady Bao, Lady Doctor, and her origin is China. Beogu's father, high-ranking theist, magistrate, raised his daughter in a monastery where she learned magic, alchemy, and medicinal techniques, including acupuncture. Maturing into a beautiful woman, she married her father's disciple, a master acupuncturist. In approximately 327 CE, they travelled to the mountains to work as healers while studying medicine and mysticism. Baogu's husband died 364 on the very same mountain associated with the fairy Hosinko. Baogu returned to the monastery, where she continued her healing practice, now working alongside her father. She combined his techniques with the acupuncture she had learned from her husband and her own innovations, becoming an incredibly skilled healer. Baogu herself was fascinated with the healing properties of water, although it no longer exists. Her well was renamed the Baogu Well in her honour. Her mastery of alchemy was so complete that she never died, but transformed into an immortal, or what we will call a fairy. They are the immortals. She's petitioned for healing, fertility, and happy marriages. She's kind of like a goddess of acupuncture and things like that. She does have some sacred sites, and offerings made to her should be incense, acupuncture needles, and different types of mineral waters. She likes the water a lot, especially mineral ones. They're definitely an in thing for her. The next spirit is Bassa Andre. Origin is Basque. Bassa Andre is a beautiful but dreaded spirit of the Pyrenees Mountains, called the land mermaid or mountain mermaid, sharing many characteristics of a mermaid but lacking the fish tail. Bassa Andre sits at the threshold of a remote mountain, usually caves, and perhaps there's pools of water in those caves or atop large stones, combing her long hair with a gold comb. She's not particularly sociable and does not want to be bothered. Bassa Andre has a reputation of luring people to their doom, but she's not an aggressive spirit. She doesn't pursue victims. Tragedy tends to befall men who presume that she is lone, defenceless, a beautiful woman, and then maybe they pursue her, and perhaps with not such innocent intent, so she leads them to dangerous, and unstable ground, where only a spirit walks safely. Bassa Andre is a great sorceress, privy to the secrets of the mountains. If addressed very politely and cautiously, she may be persuaded to reveal information. She has a consort, Bassa Joan. You can offer ornaments to her for her hair, cosmetics, perfume, beautiful, shiny, smooth stones. And then we go on to Bassa Joan, from Basque also, and in French literally means goat man. but that's in French, which means it's a different name, which is Homme de Boue. Bassa Juan lives in the high caves and forests of the Pyrenees between France and Spain. He enjoys the company of shepherds. At night, at least, in the old days, he would join them at the fire, drink, eat, and talk with them. In exchange for politeness and generosity, he protects goats and sheep. It says sheep, but it means sheep. Bassa Juan is a trickster who enjoys pranks and practical jokes, but is also credited as a primordial teacher, the one who first taught local people agriculture and ironworking skills. He is in Mari's entourage. So his manifestations, because he may be actually a shapeshifter, so descriptions do vary. He's compared to a faun or a satyr, a horned goat man spirit, and others describe him resembling a dwarf or brownie. Of course he has a consort, we've just done it, Bassa Andre. Animals are goat and sheep. He likes simple shepherd's foods, especially dairy products, cheese, clotted milk. Offer him a strong drink, and he probably won't refuse. They're the offerings you can obviously give to him. So the next we are on the mistress of the oracle, the great conjuress of the casket, Bastet, Egypt. Bastet, great cat goddess, has dominion over sex, fertility, marriage, magic, music, childbirth, prosperity, joy, dance, and healing. In short, the pleasures of life. She protects humans against infertility and dangers of childbirth, evil spirits, illness, and bodily injuries, especially those caused by venomous creatures. A tomb inscription says, Bastet bestows life, prosperity, and health every day, and long life and beautiful old age. Bastet offers special protection to women and children who serve as matron or magicians and healers. Her cult began in the Nile Delta swamps. The earliest known portrait of Bastet dates to circa 3000 BCE. By about 950 BCE, she was worshipped throughout Egypt. For a while, she was the most popular goddess in the kingdom. Her veneration reached its zenith during the reign of Asorkon II, when a major temple was erected at her cult city. Bubastis' devotion to Bastet officially survived until 30 BCE and the Romans' conquest. The Romans having little sympathy for animal-shaped gods. Her annual festival is Bubastis, and it was Egypt's most popular, a precursor of modern Mardi Gras. It was renowned for parties, revelry, and drunkenness. Herodotus, the Greek traveller and historian, writing in the 5th century BCE, claimed that more wine was consumed in Egypt during this festival than during the entire rest of the year. Other many details are lost. Bastet's festival celebrated female sexuality and generative power. Boats sailed up the Nile towards Bubastis. At each barge approached towns and settlements, it would halt, and the mainly female celebrants on board would loudly hail local women, congratulate and, bring them up to the riverbanks. They would shout sexual obscenities to each other, dance wildly, and perform Anna Suramai, the ritual act of lifting up the skirts to expose the vulva, associated with laughter, healing, and defiance of grief. Bastet may be the wife and the daughter of Ra, the sun. Among the spirits described as her sons are Mahahis, Konsu, and Nefertem. She is depicted as a cat, often bejewelled, or as a woman with a cat's head, sometimes surrounded by kittens, and fashionably dressed in a green or blue dress. She is attributed to the symbol of life. Her planets are the sun and moon, her colour is green. Her animals are domestic cats. There are servants, there are sacred animals. Offerings. Her name may be related to a word meaning perfume. Ancient Egyptian perfume was typically in the form of salve. Offer her precious green perfumes. Offerings that benefit her sacred animals would do also. figurines of cats, beautiful cats, any type of cat. Doesn't have to be a particular colour, and it doesn't have to be anything like a tiger or a lion, like a big cat. It can just be any cat that you quite fancy. And it also can be treats for her cats because she likes any offerings like that. It's what keeps her happy, you know. And the most important thing when working with these deities is that you, or deities, however you want to describe it, you want to keep them happy, you know. That's important. Now we'll do the last one, the Lord of the Flies, the Lord of Chaos, Beelzebub, Beelzebuth. Because he does have a few names. Beelzebul, Beelzebub, Beelzebulb, Beelzebuth. Anyway, he's a demon, I'm sure everybody knows that. The Philistines were traditional enemies of the Israelites. They do not appear in flattering terms in the Old Testament. The word Philistine remains a synonym for uncouth barbarian, so perhaps it's no surprise that their primary male deity, Baal-zebub, appears in even less flattering light in the New Testament. The original Baal-zebub was a spirit of fertility and rebirth. In the Gospels, Beelzebub, as his name evolved into chief of demons and prince of devils. In Christ's time, Beelzebub seems to have been incorporated into controversial shamanic techniques disapproved of by the general Jewish public. According to the Gospel of Luke, when people witnessed Jesus successfully expel demons from the bodies of the ailing, they accused him of doing it with assistance from Beelzebub. Luke records that Jesus was insulted by the suggestion. Beelzebub and Satan were once considered to be distinct beings. And, you know, we could really go into all that stuff, but I'm sure you know the story of, you know, where he comes from and such. Medieval demonologists perceived Beelzebub as a powerful demon to conjure, command, and control. They classified him as a fallen angel, a founder of Hell's Order of the Fly. Beelzebub allegedly manifests in the form of a giant fly. Don't believe that, okay? That's all alleged. That's not how he manifests, and that is not what it's about. It's not half as bad as what you think. You're going to think I'm crazy, me saying that. I'm being honest. Okay, he's not. And it's not what you think. And to go into that would lead me into something completely different, and I'd be here forever. But let's just say things got really mixed up and messed up along the way. He tends to be conjured by those more inclined to command than cajole. If one wished to offer a bribe, however, bottles, or Beelzebub French ale, or other items invoking his royal malevolence might do the trick. He likes pretty much anything. In fact, he enjoys a pretty good conversation. If you're willing to sit down and have a conversation with him, he's more than happy to show himself and have a general, normal, conversation with you. So it's, like I say, things got changed over time, you know. And it's sad, but don't think too much into it, because he's not what you think. And when we say demons, you have to remember the word demon as being radically changed and messed about with and played with and whatever else, you know. I wish I could go into more detail, but I'd be here forever if I did. But just have an open mind, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the World of Spirits. When we come back, we shall continue with the bees where we left off. Please hit that like, share if you can, and if you've not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Many blessings.